What's going on, YouTube? Cap24 coming back with another video with our series that we're doing to wind down Madden 18, where we're looking at rotating playbooks, finding hidden gems, rare plays that aren't found in a whole lot of playbooks, and kind of giving you a mini scheme at the end of the week for each playbook that we find. Okay, so what we're going to look today is the Panthers playbook. This play is going to be called the Gun Y Off Trips PA Double Post, and it's only found in two playbooks, the Panthers as well as the Bears. It's a really nice formation, which we're going to be able to throw a couple extra plays to show you when we do our schemes. But this play's got three setups that I like to use, and let's go ahead and jump into it. So for this play, guys, I'm going to show you several different setups. The first one we're going to show you is going to be kind of a popular Madden 18 concept, but with some unique routes to make it a little bit more powerful. The concept is basically the underneath pattern, streak pattern, post pattern concept, right? You see a lot of it in Gun Bunch Week. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to put the A on the streak. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the RB, put him on a drag, and we're going to leave it at that. What I like about this is that X does a really good job of getting underneath stock coverage. And if a user doesn't jump underneath it, then you're going to be able to throw it to him basically as he crosses the faces of the linebackers. If they stay underneath it as a user, then we're going to wait for this B, which is a really nice route that once it cuts off, it has a really unique angle that goes across the field that kind of stays underneath the deep coverage, but also gives you a nice opportunity to stay above the user. So let's watch what happens. The first read is always going to be this X underneath. You can see you're going to be able to hit it under that player and get that option, especially when you get them starting to think that they want to watch the post, right? So that's the first spot that you always want to do. A second spot, and say that we're going to look at here, is going to be the B. Say the user goes and plays underneath. We're going to wait for this B, throw it right there, and we're going to have that option right through the middle, right? So basically what we're doing is that high-low. You've seen this a bunch of times. You can do this a couple different ways. That's the first way. The second way is we can do max protection, where we block our A, put the RB on the streak, and just leave it like this, to where what you're doing is you're kind of just using the same routes, but you're using the RB as the drive-off route, right? So here's against cover 3 again. You can see that the X is going to come across. You can throw it underneath that player like we've shown before. Or if they play more like underneath coverage, to where they are basically going ahead and covering the X receiver, then you're going to have that ability to wait for that B to come under. Say they do this, now you're throwing this ball right here and getting yourself an easy catch. So that's the max protection way. So the last way I like to do it is basically go ahead and put the X on the streak and put the B on the in. Why I like this is because it's going to set up the next setup that we show you with this A on this route, and so people don't key in that every time the A does this route is who we want to throw it to. But what I also like about it is the A clears away everybody. So if you hit the B on the break, it's a really nice quick throw. So let me show you what I mean. Caught off the play action, B makes his break. You're going to throw it to him right on his break, right? It's not something that you want to wait too long into it because of the fact that you're going to have that guy open right there. Now you can wait a little bit longer, and that's going to kind of set up the high-low. But hitting the B on its break is really going to give you a nice option here to make it work. And we want the X to kind of clear it off. So here we go. See, I'm going to show you the B on the break again. Hit him right there. And you're going to have that spot. Now, if the user's playing underneath it, that's basically, the type where we're going to make sure that we are going with the high-low with the RB and the B. So that's why we want to drive the left player away with the X, because if we drive the left side of the field, then it's going to give us a little bit more room to hit the RB to the number side, right? Not because we're going to wait a little bit longer on this throw. So here we go. We're going to wait for this B to come across. We like him. If not, we're going to throw it to this RB. Get this catch and kind of get down. Now, I do like this time a lot when I'm rolling to the right with a right-handed quarterback. If you've got Vic, this is why sometimes it's a good play on the left side. But just in general, want to make sure that you see that you're going to have that ability to throw it to him. I do like to hit the B a lot when I run this setup early in the throw, just because of the way that it hits it, kind of gives him something to think about. But you definitely have this RB, just kind of pass lead it down, possession, catch it, and get yourself an easy catch. So those are the three ways I like to run that concept, right? What they all are setting up is the next setup, okay? That concept you've seen, but this play does a really good job of giving you three different ways to run it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over to the right, and I'm going to show you how this works when it comes to a different concept. And that different concept is basically the wheel activation for Cloud Flat, where it's going to take the cloud flat and have him man activate and let us get some really nice, easy yards. So what we're going to do here is just put the B on a streak. So when you're on the right hash mark, that's all you need to do. If you're on the left hash mark, obviously you want to flip the play and put the X on a streak, but just put the outside player on a streak, okay? And what's going to do is you're going to see that this cloud flat is going to play this man activation on the A down the field, leaving this X wide open once it gets to the numbers on the right-hand side. Now, they still have to be more protective of the middle of the field because we've been basically hammering in all those plays prior is post, 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 post. And if we were going to throw it to this X receiver, we usually would throw it to him in the middle of the field, not until he gets to the outside of the field. So that's why you need to have play designs to help scheme together, is to get your opponent thinking, okay, once that X receiver gets to the middle, he's definitely going to the post. That's what he's been showing. Well, once this play is one of those that we let him go all the way to the outside, knowing he's going to get open. So let me show you. This is against cover 3 cloud flat. You're going to notice that this X is going to go over here. I'm just going to even just lob it just so you can see. It doesn't really matter what you do. If you obviously if you throw it more of a bullet, you're going to be able to turn up the field. But I just want to kind of lob it just to show you basically from a understanding that nobody's going to be over there, right? So what you're going to see here is this one tight end goes up the field. See how he turns that cornerback? If you haven't seen our videos before, I just want to make sure you know that. That's that man activation I'm talking about. You can lob this basically anywhere. The only person that's going to make a play of the ball is actually the cornerback that's right about the 20-yard right now. As soon as we start to throw it, that's the 91 zone coming. That other player will not play this ball. See how he's still covering the tight end? And you're going to be able just to go over there. So if I was to bullet it, I was be able to get more yardage on it. I'll show you that right now. All I'm going to do here is cloud flats again. Put the B on a streak. And we'll go ahead. And we're just going to wait for this X to come across. And you can see here that this time I'm going to bullet it. I'm going to rack catch it, get up the field, and get ourselves a little bit more yards. Okay, so that guy's going to be open. And that's really going to be because you've set it up against your user with all those post patterns. Now, if they do, let's go ahead and, you know, I'll put them in cloud flats. But if they play a little bit more shallow, you know, with these users, then you're still going to have that opportunity. So a lot of times, let's just say the left player is the user, and I'll just put him on a quarterback spy. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut it off. You can say he's staying lower. You know, we're just going to be able to throw that ball there. I'm just going to kind of show that here. I'll do the other player. And it's really just a matter of what you're seeing from your opponent, right? If they're going to take that player, you know, say they're going to take this player this time, right? It won't matter, you know, with the man activation, all that stuff. All you're going to see is that guy goes and he takes that player over there. Now you're just throwing it right here, and you can see that you got all this room because of that man activation. So depending on what they're doing, you're just going to need to read it and know when to throw it. But know that you've always got the fallback of the right side of the field because it's cleared out. Now, what if they're in cover 3 hard flats, okay? You're still going to have that options where you're going to be able to throw to the X or the RB, but you also got this wheel route, okay? So what I like to do is if I'm just making sure that I'm looking at it as a 1-2 read, I'm going to watch the wheel. If the player that's supposed to be man activating on the wheel does so, then I know that I'm going to be able to throw it to the X receiver. If that player lets the wheel go, then we know that it's hard flats. We're going to be able to throw it up the field. So watch this. This is hard flats. So all I'm going to do here again, watch this guy over here. I see that he doesn't man activate. Now I'm going to throw it to him on the sidelines, okay? Let me show it to you in instant replay so you understand what read you're doing. If you're only doing a 1-2 read, this is an easy 1-2 read to the outside. The read is basically look at the tight end, and we're going to look at this player. Just get this camera right. And if this guy goes ahead, turns his back, and runs with him, it's cloud flats. If he lets him go, at this point, I know that it's not cloud flats, that it's hard flats. And you can see that I kind of shorten my throw up a little bit by kind of going to the right a little bit. And I'm going to throw that ball right here. And you're going to see that's going to be an easy hard flat beater, right? So that's the way that would work. Now, if I'm just looking at that player, I'm just trying to make sure that you guys understand what I'm talking about here with a 1-2 read. If I'm just looking at that player, I'm going to look at the A. I'm going to look at him, see that the guy goes ahead and clears him out. Now I'm going to throw it to this X receiver because of where my eyes were, and I never even looked at the post, okay? That's the 1-2 read if you're just trying to make the side of the right side your only read. Now, obviously if somebody jumps that crossing route, then you should definitely throw it to the post, but that's basically how that would work. Now let's go ahead and look at cover 2. And what we're going to do with cover 2 here is we'll base the line here. and we're going to put the a middle linebacker in deep blue. I'm leaving that player in a mid read here because what I want to do is I want to simulate first that mid read will take the post, okay? Now, if that's the case, if that player's playing the post, you're going to see how open the X is going to get. And then I'm going to simulate that the guy's taking the X, and I'll show you where the throw is to the RB. I do want to make sure that I deactivate man coverage by doing the cloud flats and resetting them, because if you don't, the player on the left is going to take the X across the field. It doesn't do anything on this play design because he's always playing a trail route, but at the same time, I just want to make sure that you see that we're not trying to take that guy out of the play, right? So here we go. What you'll see here is you carry it up. They see that the RB is going to take that player. As soon as he crosses that guy, you're going to know that you have all this room to get some really good yardage due to the fact that we've already cleared that whole zone out. Now, if they're going to baseline here. Now, if they're going to go ahead and take this mid-read, and let's just say we're putting him on a quarterback spy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to back him up a little bit and kind of put him over here so that he kind of goes to the middle of the field, just to kind of simulate it better without having to use two controllers. And what you'll see here is that that guy will end up being in the middle of the field. We're going to show that he's not taking the RB, and that's the case. We're going to throw it to the RB underneath, okay? So that's really what I'm trying to show you here, is that if that middle linebacker does not stay on that post pattern, he's the guy we want to throw to. But a lot of times, even if they stay, and I'll show you this, what happens a lot, say they let the post pattern go, right? What a lot of times I'm going to see here is that they're not going to go ahead and carry themselves all the way to the right side of the screen because they expect that cloud flat to be there on the right. They usually only cover that guy to about halfway to the numbers, right? From the hash mark to the numbers. And they're going to sit there, wait for the guy, wait for the guy, wait for the guy. Now we're going to throw it over here. You're going to see that we're going to have that ability to get them wide open because they are depending on that cloud flat to be there. In their mind, if they're only playing the middle of the field, they're kind of playing from, you know, pretty much from almost numbers to numbers. That's about as far as they want to go as a middle linebacker user. So if they're in a situation where cover 2 arises and they're basically going ahead and trying to play that middle of the field, they're not going to go all the way to the right. And that's kind of one of those deals that they just have scripted in their mind, and that's going to open this up. So again, you'll hear it could throw it to the RB. I'm going to wait, throw it to this X. This is just going to be wide open, you know, just kind of opportunity to get some easy yards like I'm trying to, you know, kind of mention. Now, it beats all coverages, like I said, you know, cover 4, cover 3, same way, because the hard flat is going to go to the wheel route. The cloud flat's going to go to the cross or the post route. I want to say thank you for everybody that has watched this video all the way to the end. We do appreciate your support. If you got something useful out of this video, go ahead and hit that like button. It does really help us grow our channel. If you're new to our channel and haven't seen one of the videos that are on your screen right now, go ahead and check it out for some great Madden content. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.